Oh, so just how you about Triller shop? It's alright, you know.
You in it?
Nah, that's in the pictures of it. So it's alright. Rip off the free. Nah, the festival was just free, man.
Listen, God forbid what you.
Yeah, £6 on top of the chicken. That's about
God
10.
forbid what you.
Mm. Whereas down here for that price you can get what about 8. So say that again. I can hear me now. This is the I.S.U.P.K Wednesday online class. Also remember, check out Commanding General Yohanna's radio show, which is Monday 2 a.m. UK time. Also, there's classes in America Monday through Friday, or just go on Facebook, subscribe to all the schools, all the pages, and then you can pick your sport for choice. You can pick what school you want to watch and whatnot because there's so much. And we also got classes here in the UK, which is Monday 7 till 9. Then we have the online Brotherhood class, which is done in London, 7 p.m. till 9. We have the law class Wednesday, 7 p.m. till 9. We have the scripture breakdown class Thursday, 7 p.m. till 9. And then Friday, we have under ends, which is 9 p.m. Until we're ready to wrap up. Also, Saturday, we have the Sabbath service at 12 p.m. So we got all those things going on. And also, we got the Feast of Purim coming up, which is the 25th of February. So that is next week, Thursday. And the 26th of February, which is next week, Friday. Because why? You have Purim, then there's a closing to it. So it's a 2-day feast. So we'll keep the feast here Thursday and Friday. So, okay, 1 second. So check out all of them classes. Also subscribe and like and follow the I.S.U.P.K United Kingdom page on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, all of those things. So all the apps that you see, we also on them apps as well, man. But give me 1 second. Also, any questions, type them in. But we're just going to quickly finish off last week's class. Then we're going to go into um, Valentine's Day and all the nonsense, Pancake Day and Lent and all of this nonsense that everyone's celebrating right now. So we're going to start off in the book of Ecclesiasticus, chapter 30 and verse 1. So any questions, just type them in and we'll get to them. Give me 1 second. All right, this is the book of Ecclesiasticus, chapter 30 and verse 1. He that loveth his son causeth him oft to feel the rod. Meaning what? Because you love your son. When he does wrong, you punish him, man. Why? Because you know that he's better than that. You know that he's better than what he's doing. You know he's better than the wrongs he's committing. So you punish him in hopes that what? By you punishing him, he won't commit them wrongs no more, man. He won't do them wrongs no more. By you showing him, listen, I'm your father and you're gonna obey me, and I'm not doing this to be horrible. I'm doing this so you learn and so you don't end up like such and such. This is why I'm doing these things. Like you ain't disciplining them because you hate them. You're disciplining them more because you love them and you know the better than that. And then what happens is it gets to a stage where they get so old that it gets to a stage where they get so wise, they've been disciplined so much that they no longer make childish mistakes no more. They no longer do childish things no more. And then you don't have to discipline them no more. Why? Because they've learned over the years, don't do this, don't do that. But if a child's never been corrected for the wrong they do, this child's going to be doing wrong their whole life. Once this child turns into an adult, still going to be doing wrong. Why? Because nobody's never corrected them. And then they have the attitude of, you can't tell me nothing. Nobody can't tell me nothing. I'm above correction. Nobody can't correct me. So while they're of age when they can be corrected, it's your job to correct them. Because then they get to the age where no one can't tell them a thing, man. No one can't tell me what to do. No one can't tell me this. No one can't tell me that. And this is why so much people don't come into the truth. Why? Because they don't like being told what to do. They don't like following orders. They just like doing whatever they want. Whereas in here, you're gonna be told what to do, man. You're gonna be told where you need to be, what you have to do. Now, if growing up your whole life, you're used to doing whatever you want, some people come in here and say, "No, I can't take this following all this stuff. Let me just leave." Whereas there's a man that comes in here and he understands. All right, then these orders that I'm following, they're not here to hurt me. They're for a purpose. I might not understand why the order was given now, but later on I understand it, and it always happens, man. First, when you come in here, there's a few things you don't understand, and then with time, you understand, and you're like, "Oh, that's the reason," and so forth, things like that. But let's read on. He that loveth his son causeth him oft to feel the rod, that he may have joy of him in the end. And what's that joy of him? That joy of him is what? That your child is a good person, man. Your child keeps the laws of God. Your child ain't no drug addict. Your child ain't no criminal. I mean, which parent takes joy knowing their son's a crackhead, man? Not one. Which father and mother take joy knowing their daughters are whore having sex with everyone? Not one, man. They shame you and bring you to heaviness, man. The nasty stuff that they be doing takes years off your life, man. Because you're always stressed. Is this the police knocking my door telling me my son's been shot to death? Is this the police telling me my daughter was a whore and she's been found in the woods somewhere? You're constantly stressing, man. Whereas if you had kids that do the right thing, you could have joy in them. Like the way we living right now ain't right, man. Like every time our children leave the house, we have to wonder, are they gonna make it back home? Are they gonna make it safe? Are they gonna end up in jail? Are they gonna end up in a grave? We have to worry, man. Whereas our parents is supposed to what? Have joy in us. No, my children are wise. My children are gonna do the right thing. My children ain't gonna take no drugs. My children ain't gonna sell no drugs. My children ain't gonna be no criminal. Our parents are supposed to sleep at night. And this is why we raise our kids the right way, so we can sleep at night, man. So we can sleep at night once they're adults. Once it gets to the stage where we can't tell them nothing, they remember all the things we told them when we could tell them something, man. They stick to all them laws they was taught, stick to everything that we've told them they must do, what they can do and what they can't do, and so forth. Let's read on. Um, oh, that's probably not muted. Give me a one online if you can hear us. Give me a one online. All right, we're going to read on verse 3. He that teacheth his son grieveth the enemy. You make the enemy mad, man. Why? Because the enemy, they've got low hopes for you, son, man. They've got low hopes for you, son. Meaning what? They see our babies come out the womb and look at them and think 18 years' time, that one's going to be in jail, man.
That's right.
That one's going to be in the grave. Now, if you teach your son, you grieve with our oppressor, man. Why? Because the prison system can't have him. Court system can't have him. Probation can't what? Probation can't do what? Make your son get out of his bed early in the week to go clean leaves off graves, man. Like now, what they do on probation is make you do what? Clean the cemetery, man. They have you cleaning leaves off people's graves. What you thought them workers get paid to clean the cemetery? Nah, man. What happens is they let what? People on probation do it. Oh, 100 hours probation. Whereas for 100 hours, for 100 hours, man, you meant to pick up a nice wage for it, man. But they have you do it for free. Wake up in the morning with a rake. You also have to clean the park as well. You thought what? They had people clean the park? Nah, man. They make that your job to clean the park. The thing is, this oppressor needs us to go to jail, man. He needs us to be at the bottom of society and criminals. Why? So the jobs that they want to do, they make us do them for free. The jobs that they believe that people shouldn't be paid for, they make you do it on probation, man. So on probation, they make you do what? Clean the graveyard, clean the park. Now, when you go visit someone in prison, who is bringing the food over to your other prisoners, man? Who is making them burgers? Other prisoners. Why do they do that? So they don't have to pay them, man. Who cleans the prison? The prisoners, man. Who does the laundry in prison? The prisoners. So while you stay out of jail, that grieves the enemy, man. While you stay off his radar, that grieves the enemy.
That's
And
right.
this is why we need to teach our sons so this enemy can be grieved, man. Because this enemy, if it was up to him, every last one of us would be dead, or every last one of us would be in jail. Let's read on. He that teacheth his son grieveth the enemy, and before his friends he shall rejoice of him. Meaning before his friends, your father does what? Says, you know what? No, your father's friends speak highly of you, man. You've got a good son, man. You've got a good son. Your son's done everything the right way. He ain't no criminal. He ain't the neighborhood crackhead. Your daughter's not the local bike. That's what you used to call them. The bike. Meaning a woman that has sex with everyone. Ecclesiasticus chapter 30 and verse 3. So they understand that what? Like your daughter won't be no whore, man. Like your friends won't be looking at you saying, damn, I'd hate to be him, man. Look how his daughter's behaving. They you can rejoice in front of them, man. You can show them off and say, these is my kids, man. Look how I raised them. I mean, how beautiful is that, man, as a father, and you can show off your kids, man, because they're doing the right things. Whereas now you're putting your head down, man. Everybody's saying to you, oh yeah, my son's training to be a lawyer. What's your son doing? You have to put your head down, man, because your son ain't doing nothing, man. Your son is in and out of jail, in and out of crack houses. You have to put your head down, man. Why? Because you're ashamed, man. Whereas you should be able to rejoice and say, you know what? My daughter, she's married. She's got, I'm going to say married. I'm not talking about walking down the aisle either, man. I'm talking about her. She's been with that one man. Now they've got kids and whatnot. She's raising them right. You want to say, yeah, my daughter's doing this, man. My daughter's doing this. Not that, oh, my daughter, she's recently came out of prison because she tried to conceal drugs and come back from Jamaica. You don't want to be that parent, man. Oh, she swallowed drugs and tried to smuggle them from Jamaica. You don't want to be that parent, man. You want to be the parent that can rejoice and say, you know what, my children are doing the right thing. So that's why you discipline them, man, when discipline is needed. It says, he that teacheth his son grieveth the enemy, and before his friends he shall rejoice of him. Though his father die, yet he is as though he were not dead. Meaning, though your father died, it's like he's not dead. Why? Because he's had a son who's just like him, man. He's left a son who thinks how the father thinks.
That's right.
Who does things how the father does.
That's
So
right.
even though he's dead, you still see glimpses of that father, man. Every time you look at that son, you see, you know what, you're doing things like him and his father are one, man. Meaning him and his father agree on the same things. His father's taught him everything, and everything his father taught him, he still sticks to what his father taught him. So even though he died, it's like he's not dead. Um, though his father, yet he is though he was not dead, for he have left one behind him that is like himself. While he lived, he saw and rejoiced in him, and when he died, he was not sorrowful. Meaning, when your father died, man, he didn't need to be sorrowful. Like, "Oh, I've left this crackhead in charge of my business, man. He's gonna go blow all the money. I've left this whore in charge of everything. She's gonna go swap this whole business for a Louis bag, a Birkin bag. She's gonna go trade this business for a Birkin bag, and so forth. You ain't gotta be sorrowful, man. He left behind him an avenger against his enemies, and he's left behind a strong son, man. And how it goes as a father, you want strong sons. So when people try to mess with you on the road, you can be like, yo, don't you know who my son is? My son is such and such. Imagine your son's just some alcoholic that's asleep on the bench, man. You got no one to call, man. You've got no avenger. You've got no one you can call. You've got no one to reign in your stead. Your son is just the guy that sleeps on the bench, who everyone laughs at, who can't do nothing, who even you're ashamed to say is your son, man. That's why we need to raise our kids better before it gets to that stage. And one that shall requite kindness to his friends. He that maketh too much of his son shall bind up his wounds. Meaning, you make too much of your son. Like people do it all the time, man. Oh, my son's so good. It's not his fault. My son is this. My son is innocent. These times, the whole neighborhood knows Your son is the reason why we can't sleep at night, man.
That's right.
Everyone knows I'm trying to go bed early, and all the gunshots is why? Because of your son, man.
That's right.
Everyone knows all the gunshots in the neighborhood is because of your son and his friends, man. And you're saying, "Oh, my son's such a good boy." It's not my son. You make too much of him, man. And when the babies, man, when the children, you shouldn't make too much of them. When they're wrong, tell them that they're wrong, because then they grow up with the mentality that they can't ever be wrong.
That's right.
They're always right, and nobody can't tell them nothing. And what happens to a child that no one can't tell nothing? They do everything, man, until they end up in jail.
Right.
End up in jail under the white man's foot. I can't do nothing, man. And we grieve the enemy when we raise our children right. Says, "He that maketh too much of his son shall bind up his wounds." Meaning what? Everything he does wrong, you cover his wrongdoings, man. You bind up his wounds. You cover up his wrongdoings. His son robbed someone. Oh, it wasn't my son. This time you know your son's robbed the person, man. What you're supposed to do is tell your son, you know what, you're wrong. You go to them other parents. Here's the phone that my son robbed. This is the phone he robbed. I'm going to give you back the phone, and I'm going to discipline my child in the process, man. You make your child apologize to that parent, man. If anything, you make your child go and do what? Go cut that parent's grass, man. Especially if it's a black or Hispanic. Your child goes wrong. You send your child to that parent's house and you speak to them parents and say, you know what? Because he done you a wrong, stole from you and whatnot. This is what he's going to do. He's going to learn. Punishments don't always mean you have to get the belt out. He's going to learn today. This is what you do. You're going to send him there, and he's going to help them cut the grass. He's going to help them put up shelves and furniture and whatnot.
That's right.
And he's going to learn his lesson, man. That you can't go around stealing. And that also builds brotherhood, man. He will also get to know them people. And those people also let him know, listen, man, there's repercussions for stealing and whatnot.
That's right.
Everything doesn't need to end with you getting the belt out and whatnot. You make him work for the people he stole from, man. And that's how it goes. I mean, shit, if your son stole from me, man, he's coming to cut my grass every week. He's coming to do some painting. He's coming to what? Hoover, mop, everything, man. Until he can what? Work off that debt, man. But nowadays, what? People make too much of their son and cover up his wounds, man. My son's not in the wrong. My son ain't paying for nothing. I don't care. My son said he didn't do it, so he didn't do it. These times you see the stolen goods in his hands, man. And then that will teach him, this labor that I'm doing now, it's rough. I'm not going to steal again because I don't want to do this again. And then that way he will learn not to steal, man. But if he steals and gets away with it, he's going to keep stealing. Why? Because his mom binds up his wounds and he gets away with it. And then what's going to happen? That petty thieving turns into what one day? You being an armed robber, man. One day you're getting, one day you're going with equipped with crowbars. One day you're going equipped with hammers. One day you're doing, one day you're onto the big moves now, where you're running around with firearms. Now, you started off as a petty thief as a child. Your mum binded up your wounds. You became an armed robber. And then you become a murderer in the process, man. Because why you break into someone's house if they say, I ain't giving you the combination to the safe? You're going to harm them, man. You're going to kill them. First, it started off with you as a thief. Whereas if it was nipped in the bud from you being a thief, you wouldn't have progressed to an armed robber.
That's right.
You wouldn't have progressed to a murderer. It would have been nipped in the bud at a thief. Now, once you start committing one sin, it often leads to others. So you'll break one of God's laws, you keep doing it, and then it leads to something else. Like breaking one of God's laws continuously is a gateway to breaking more laws. Like what? By you coveting, you then turn into stealing. You then turn into wanting another man's wife. You then turn into a murderer. Whereas if you didn't covet in the first place, you wouldn't be a thief. You wouldn't want another man's wife and so forth. You wouldn't be none of those things. Why? Because you nipped it in the bud at the first sign of whatever. But you break one of God's laws, it's a gateway to you breaking all of them. Let's read on. Verse 7. He that maketh too much of his son shall bind up his wounds, and his bowels will be troubled at every cry. And a horse not broken becometh headstrong. Meaning what? If you don't break a horse in time, man, you don't get this horse right, it becomes headstrong. Meaning this horse is going to buck and do whatever it wants, man. This horse is going to gallop when it's not supposed to. This horse is going to do whatever it wants. And that's like children. You don't discipline them early enough, they become headstrong, meaning you can't tell them what to do no more.
That's right.
That time's passed, that time's expired. You trying to tell them what to do now. Imagine this child's 16 and now you're trying to tell them, now you're trying to tell your daughter at 17, don't dress like that. It's not going to work, man. She's going to say, listen, I'm a grown up. I can do whatever I want. That's how it goes, man. They become headstrong and they do whatever the hell they want, man. So you need to teach them, look, I'm in charge. You're going to listen to me. You're going to obey my orders. You're going to obey what I say and so forth. Before what? They become headstrong and bring you to heaviness, man. Meaning you're going to be depressed. You're going to be out of control. Your son's going to be a homosexual. And now you're going to cry. Your daughter's going to come in what? Pregnant at 15. Now you're going to cry. Oh my God, how did my daughter get pregnant so young and she doesn't know who the father is? And then you're going to cry, not realizing when your daughter wanted to dance to them dirty songs, man, you're supposed to nip it in the bud, man. When your daughter wanted to do all the slackness, man, you wanted to let her do it, man. You was meant to nip it in the bud. You see your daughter, she's young, trying to dance to all of these songs she sees on the TV. You're meant to nip it in the bud, man. Like the other day, Rihanna came off the internet for a bit and came back with a picture, and she comes back with no bra. Do you see the picture? She posted on Instagram. She's come on Instagram with no bra, holding her chest up, talking about no bra nonsense. These are the things that your children see, man. And Rihanna knows that that picture is gonna what get so much likes. That's why she comes topless. I think it got about what 9 million likes. About 9 million likes, man. Why? Because she's on the internet topless. And these is things, man. Women like that, I got no shame. But in this society, they're looked at as that's a real woman. That's a woman that every man wants. And the thing is, man, men don't really want that. Now you'll see that it appears that Cardi B and all of them are in happy relationships. Why? Because they're celebrities, but really behind closed doors, they ain't happy, man. And you being a regular hoe with no profession, not on no TV, you're thinking you're gonna get that same relationship. You ain't, man.
That's right.
Men are gonna see you for what you really are, man. And they ain't gonna want to be putting up with that. But the internet makes that like be a whole your whole life, and then you get married in the end, and then you get married in the end. People always say, "Oh, well, I've seen hoes get married." Listen, man, it never lasts. It never ever lasts. How about you don't be a whore and you get married, man?
That's right.
How about you be a respectable woman that when your husband takes a picture with you, there's no next man, there's no next man saying, "Oh, is that your woman?" He says, "Yeah," and then he finds out down the line his friend out with it, this person out with it, that person out with it. Listen, man, women always moaning, "Oh, on the internet, if your man don't post you, what did you say? If your man don't post you, don't listen." Some men are scared to post their woman because every man's been with her, man. He can't take the embarrassment today, man. And that's how it goes, man. How about you don't have that reputation? So when your man posts you, there's not 100 other men saying, "Oh, I used to deal with her." All you have to do is buy her a drink and listen, man. This is why you have to raise your sons right and your daughters. You have to raise your sons super right, man. Why? Because our oppressor wants to kill them. Our oppressor wants them to be drug dealers. He wants them to be criminals. And then our daughters, our oppressor wants them to be whores, man. And then he wants our sons and daughters to fight against each other, meaning he wants them to be in opposition against each other. He wants to pit them against each other, talking about, oh, she earns more than the man, so she's in charge of the house. No, she earns more than the man, so he ain't the head of the house. Whereas being the head of the house has nothing to do with money, man.
That's
It
right.
has nothing to do with money, has nothing to do with finances. It has nothing to do with you having a better job. It's the order, man. The Lord gave the order that the man is the head of the house. You could make a million and he could make £1, man. He's still the head of the house. Like the amount of money doesn't diminish his position. Like your achievements doesn't diminish his position. So you can have all them achievements, which is good, man. It's good to have achievements. It's good to have degrees and masters. But in you having all of that, it doesn't diminish this man's position. Whereas in this day and age, they teach you that it does. But let's read on for time's sake. Says uh, verse 8, a horse not broken becometh headstrong, and a child left to himself will be woeful. You leave a child to himself, man, he's going to destroy himself. And if you don't correct them, they're going to be a child their whole life, man. Their behavior is going to be like a child their whole life, even when they're 18. To where now people are crying that they didn't get a Valentine's Day gift, man. Crying about it, ready to ruin their relationship and ready to leave over a Valentine's Day gift, man. We're going to talk about that a bit later on, man. Now you train them, you let them hear the word no sometimes, man. Sometimes your children ask for stuff and you meant to say no, man, just so they learn the word no. What happens is they grow up and they see a man's gold chain, they say, oh, take off that chain. And these children ain't used to hearing no, man. So they feel like they have to have everything. Everything they see, they feel like they have to have it. Let's read on. Cock-a-doed child, and he shall make thee afraid. Meaning you play with your child too much, man. Don't play with your child too much. Like you play with you cocker your child, man, meaning you play with them too much. You think everything's a game. So you and your daughter are what? Downstairs twerking together, man. Like it's a game, man. Imagine a mother and her daughters twerking together, man. That's that. Those is the things you're not supposed to do, man. 'Cause they're gonna make you afraid, man. And then what happens? She grows up. Oh, your sons put on your heels, and you laugh about it, man. You've seen them things on Instagram where women have their son put on the heels, and you know that there's no man in the house because a man will lose his mind over that, man. My mom say, get out them shoes, man. You're not no gay. I ain't raising no gay son, man. Our father was saying, raising no LGBTQ son, man. That's what our father will say, man. I ain't. Our father will say, listen, you came out of my loins, man, and those things don't come out of my loins, man. No gay son comes out of my loins, man. But single mothers do what? Laugh about it. Not all. There's some single mothers who's dead set against it, man. And that's good. That's how you should be. But the modern ones nowadays, they ain't against it. They laugh and record. Oh, their son will put on their bra and they laugh about it, man. And they find it funny, and it's not funny, man. You're raising your child up for what? For him to grow up and then he's just going to destroy himself, man. If the Lord don't destroy him for doing them abominable acts. He puts on your lipstick and you find it funny. Oh, my son put on his lipstick. Oh, I done my son's makeup. Nah, man, you ain't supposed to put no makeup on boys, man. Let a boy be a boy, man. This is what you do, man. You get him a fireman Samset, man. Let him run around with fire engines and toys and guns and all of them things, man. Don't let him run around with high heels and Barbie dolls and whatnot. You're raising your son to be soft, and usually with boys, if they're gonna be soft, you see it in them from young, man. The signs are there. Buy what toys they want to play with. The signs are there, man. Buy the toys that they want to play with. You can tell. Ain't hard to tell. Shalom Yabba Shabbat.
Shalom, Yahweh, Shem Yahshua.
Like you can tell, man. Like if you've got a son and he's soft, what you're supposed to do is make him strong, man. Like if your son's playing with Barbie dolls and talking like a girl and whatnot, you take him wrestling, man. You take him wrestling, take him wrestling, take him
Right.
take him kickboxing, make him do some masculine sport, man. Don't just give up on him and say, "Oh, all right, play with the doll," or just push there. Don't give your son none of that. Don't make your son do all of that. Usually, you can tell if your son is growing up soft, and it's your job to do what? Break him out of it, man. But what
That's
happens
right.
is you leave them and say, "Oh, he's finding himself." He ain't finding himself, man. He's finding himself in wrestling class, man. He's finding himself in doing something masculine, man. He ain't gonna be soft on my watch. You raise him, tell him, listen, man, you're meant to be a warrior for your nation, man. How are you meant to be a warrior for your nation and you being effeminate, man? And most of these homosexuals, I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's just me, but most of them speak with a lisp. Have you noticed? It's like they put on this lisp, like all of them put on this lisp, man. Like obviously you can tell when a man's naturally got a lisp because his one don't sound gay. But when these gay men put on the lisp, I'm thinking, what the hell's wrong with you, man? Yeah, I think it's cute. It's just weird. Like there's one thing them like with Esau, he's disgusting. He's a homosexual, but he don't prance around like a woman, man. He's a homosexual, and you wouldn't know. Like the manager and your slave, the Edomite, could be a homosexual, and guess what? You wouldn't know.
Right.
He don't let you know. But now when it comes to our brothers who want to be homosexuals, the whole world has to know, man. They have to
Right.
know, they have to bend their wrists There's a way they tilt their head to the side. They all tilt their head to the side, man. The way they open doors is you can't even tell the gay by the way they push the door. Everything, man. And you need to get that out of your sons from the get-go, man. So they don't go down that road. So they don't end up like some homosexual from London called Imayo, man. The biggest homosexual the world's ever seen, man. And he tries to talk patois as well, man. Some homosexual from London tries to talk patois as well. And people post it and think it's funny. They post it and think it's funny. It's disgusting, man.
That's
Those
right.
things ain't funny, man. The Lord said he's going to destroy those who take pleasure in it also, man. Those who find it funny. Those who say, oh, he's just my gay friend. Those who say, oh, stop bullying him. He's a good person. He's got a good heart. Listen, man. You don't have a good heart, man.
That's
Have a
right.
good heart. A man with a good heart doesn't want to be a woman, man. He ain't got no good heart, man. He's got a gay heart, so lucky.
That's right.
Everything in him is gay. He ain't got no good heart, man. Let's read on. Ecclesiasticus chapter 30 and verse. Cock thy child, and he shall make thee afraid. Play with him, and he will bring thee to heaviness. Meaning, too much playing with your children. They're gonna bring you to heaviness, man. The day is gonna come when what? You played with them so much, and all they know is play. So when you try and be serious, they don't listen to you, man. They don't respect you. Not every day is playtime, man. Now, can you play with your kids? Yes, man. But not every single day, man. All you do is play and let them do whatever they want. Them putting on heels, that's not a plaything, man. Your daughter twerking in the living room, that's not a plaything, man. Your daughter being naked on webcam, that's not a plaything, man. That's not a plaything, man. Listen, once upon a time we was young, man, and on MSN, man, Crawford will tell you women used to get naked on the webcam, man. I'm lying. In their parents' house, man. Daddy's downstairs, mom is downstairs, and then they're naked on the webcam showing you everything on MSN, man. Meanwhile, you're paying the internet bill, man, and you don't even know this is what's going on upstairs, man. Imagine, God forbid, you go through that door, man. Listen, man, they're gonna bring you to heaviness, man. You're gonna see all these men viewing. Listen, there's a video. Rapper Digga D released a video the other day, man, and he's talking about hoes in the video. Meanwhile, there's hoes right next to him in the video, and they're happy doing the video shoot. Just imagine you being a father, seeing your daughter in one of these music videos. Just imagine, man. They're rapping about whores, and your daughter's being exactly that whore in this music video. You'd feel like you failed as a father, man.
That's right.
Like as a father. Just imagine all your friends, especially in the world, all your friends is watching that video, man, looking at your daughter saying, damn, she looks good. She's this, she's that. Remember, they're in the world, they don't care about morals and whatnot. Like a man in the world, morals doesn't exist to him. Whereas there's a man that'll be like, don't look at her, man. That's such and such's daughter or whatnot. In the world, man. Your friends in the world, they don't care, man. Listen, they'll be trying to deal with your daughter behind your back, man. They'll be saying, don't worry, don't tell your dad I got this much money and so forth. Outside there's no love, man. Outside here, there's no love. In the world, there's no love, man. They will be trying to look at your daughter, trying to coerce her into doing stuff for money and whatnot, man. And then what they'll say is, don't tell your dad, it's our secret. That's what they'll say, man. Don't tell your dad, it's our secret. This is why we need to raise our kids better, man. Let's read on. Cock thy child, and he shall make thee afraid. Play with him, and he will bring thee to heaviness. Laugh not with him, lest thou have sorrow with him. Now you're gonna laugh until one day you're gonna be walking in your house and you're gonna hear that song playing, that I'm coming out song, man. That I want the world to know. You're gonna hear that song. You're gonna be like, hold on. You're gonna open the door, man, and your son's gonna say, Dad, I can't hide it no more. You're gonna be like, hide what? You're gonna be like, hide what? And he's gonna say, you know what? I've been fighting this. Listen, man. Really, you know your children. So as a father, you have an instinct into certain things, but you don't want to be brought to heaviness, or someone, or you're seeing pictures of your son in the gay village. Because apparently now people are saying there's a lot of so-called straight men that go there. There's some men that go there and say, oh, we go there for women. That's a lie, man. Why would you go to a place? Why would you go there for women? Like, why? It doesn't make no sense. So you want women, but you go to the gay spots for women. It don't make no sense. It sounds backwards. It sounds like you're there for a man that's just like a woman, man. Sounds like you're
Yeah.
there for a man that dresses up like a woman, and you got
Mm.
caught, and you know it's wrong, so you're trying to lie and justify it. Like, oh no, no, there's loads of women there. I guarantee you, to you say the women, but really the men dressed as women, man. Yeah, let's read on. Laugh not with him, lest thou have sorrow with him, and lest thou gnash thy teeth in the end. Meaning, man,
Mm.
in the end, man, it brings you to heaviness. You got your head in your palms. Like, why me,
Mm.
man? Why my son, man? Why my child? And so forth.
Right.
Says, give him no liberty in his youth. Meaning, don't give your kids all the freedom in the world, man. You give them curfews, give them chores, tell them they ain't going out unless this is done. Don't let them go out every single day, and so forth. Tell them you ain't going here, you ain't going there. Don't let them sleep at everybody's house. Like with your children, don't let them sleep at everybody's house, man. You don't
Right.
know who's who, man. You don't know who's
Mm.
who. Like you do know when you send your daughter to sleepovers to stay at her friend's house, you do know her friend has brothers, right? You do
Mm.
know that. You do know that her friend has older brothers. That's saying to her, oh, meet, sneak out in the bathroom at this time. You do know her friend has brothers, right? Listen, man. Before your daughter stays anywhere, you need to go look at that house with a torch and find out who lives there, how much siblings. You need to find out
Right.
everything, man. You can't just be sending your daughter there. Imagine you're sending your daughter there thinking she's in good hands. Meanwhile, she's having sex with her friend's older brother, man. And you
Mm.
ain't even aware of it. You're at home asleep, man. Tell your daughter, no, you ain't staying at such and such's house, man. Tell your sons, no, you ain't staying at such and such's house. Tell them no, man. When they ask, tell them no and explain to them why. You're my child, and I can't take the risk, and I'm telling you this out of love. And when you get older, you'll understand, man. That's what you tell them. Give him no liberty in his youth, and wink not at his follies. Meaning, don't just turn a blind eye to his foolishness. Your children do some foolishness, you don't turn a blind eye to it, man. Because by you
Right.
turning a blind eye to it, the time's gonna come when they're doing worse things, bigger
Mhm.
things. You're gonna keep turning a blind eye to it, and guess what? Our oppressor doesn't turn a blind eye to their follies, man.
That's right.
The mistakes that they make, our oppressor don't turn a blind eye to it. He throws them in jail. He come and breaks down your door, takes them out your house, and so forth, man. I remember the
Right.
first time I got arrested, man. My dad came to the police station, man, and he was powerless. My dad's like, all right, then, can he get bailed? Can I take him home? There was like, no, he has to stay here overnight, man. And I seen in my dad's eyes that he's seen that he was powerless, man. You don't want that to be your children, man. I've looked at my dad saying, all right, then tomorrow. And I'm standing there like, damn, but I want to come home. And this oppressor saying, nope, the robbery team's gone home. They claimed they done a robbery. That's what they claimed they done. I can't remember if it was me or not, but they claimed they done it. I'm not too sure. Probably was a lookalike. I can't remember. But they claimed they done it. So they kept me there overnight talking about the robbery team's gone home now. So you have to stay here till tomorrow. So they have you sleep in the cell with some thin blankets, no pillow.
Mm.
Every time you're about to get sleep, someone comes and pulls down the latch, wakes you up, man. It's like they do that on purpose. Listen, man, it's not nice, man. So we need to raise our children so they don't go through some of the stuff that we went through. Well, let's read on. Give him no liberty in his youth, and wink not at his follies. Bow down his neck while he is young. So while he's a child, you bow down his neck, man. Meaning you discipline him, teach
Mhm.
him to have respect and manners. Like you teach your children, have respect and manners, man. Why? Because respect goes a long way, man. Manners
That's
goes a
right.
long way. Like being
Mhm.
respectful doesn't cost anything. You know that manners is free, right? It don't cost anything. Like there's some
Mm.
children you come across, disrespectful as could be, man. Want to argue, want to fight everyone. Like the Bible says, what? A soft answer turneth away wrath. So you need to teach your children how to diffuse certain situations, how to diffuse certain problems. Because a soft answer turns away wrath. Now we wasn't taught how to diffuse situations. We was just taught anyone crosses you, you do this. Whereas there's a
Mhm.
better way to do things, man. Now, if what we taught now, we teach our children and they teach their children and they teach their children, the black community will change overnight. The knife crime rate will go down, the murder rate will go down, the prison rate will go down. Why? Because respect goes a long way, man. Most of these situations happens why? Over respect issues or off what? Two black men just looking at each other wrong in the street. Now, if they're both taught, you see a black man, you salute him, he's your brother. That's one
That's
less
right.
black man dead, man. That's one less
Mhm.
stabbing. Why? Because they understand the brothers. Like we need every black man to understand, every black and Hispanic man to understand. We've got something in common. Like we might have never seen each other before, but we're brothers. Like I'm supposed to look at him and see that he's got the same forefathers as me, and
Right.
understand we ain't never spoke before, but we're brothers. Understand that okay then, because we're the same race, any issue we got, we should talk about it. Why? Because we're
So,
royalty, man. We're better than
that's
that.
right.
We're royalty. We're better than just taking a black man's life away like his life don't mean nothing. His life means
Right.
something, man. Why? Because he's a descendant of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, man. His life
Mhm.
means something. His royalty, man. His ancestors was in slave like mines, man. He's a slave like I am. He's oppressed like I am. Like, if two black men just sat down in a room together, no cameras there, nobody there stroking their egos, just two men in
Mhm.
a room, I guarantee you, most black men would realize, you know what? We got more in common than I thought. We
Mhm.
actually get along. Like the thing is this, whether you're from Handsworth, Newtown, Aston, all of them all like the same things, man. All of them like the same things. They all like the same rap music. All like the same kind of dress code trainers. All like the same everything, man. All got the same hobbies. But we kill each
Right.
other. And if we sat down in a room together, we'd be like, you know what? It's actually cool.
Mhm.
Because hey, man, like most niggas is the same, man. But we just don't know it. Like we don't know how much things we got in common. Meanwhile, we beef over Handsworth and we don't own no shops. All we do is own food shops. That's all we own, little food shop. And when I say own the food shop, we don't even own it, we just rent it. We own
Mhm.
what the bar shop and so forth. Meanwhile, the East India man, he's got the whole of Soho Road, everything that we fighting over. This East India man that owns all the Soho Road, his kids can go to Newtown freely, man. And they've got shops there also, and they ain't fighting each other. They understand this business. Whereas with us, we fighting over what? The ghetto when really the only thing good about the ghetto is that we here, man. That's the only thing good about it, is that your neighbor's black or Hispanic, man. I was watching a
Mhm.
podcast the other day, man, and was talking about Peckham. They said every Sunday back in like the 70s or 80s, they said Peckham, every Sunday you would smell rice and peas, man. So every Sunday, is it yeah, yeah. They said you would smell rice and peas, man. You would hear reggae music, and it's sad to see that that's gone now, man. It's
Mhm.
sad to see that that's gone. Like now,
That's
now it's rare to smell rice and peas now, man. Why? Most black people's not living amongst each other no more, or
Mhm.
most are thinking there's something else. Most of think like now. Once upon a time, man, Caribbean food, everything was doing all of that. Now, Caribbean people's going away from the Caribbean food and making what burgers? Making burgers now. There's nothing wrong with it, but I'm just saying, like the things that we had, we no longer hold on to them. So now,
gone.
so now it's hard to find the authentic Caribbean shop nowadays. You'll
Mhm.
find them, but all the newer ones is now what burgers and fries, waffles as well. Yeah, waffles, burgers, fries. Now it's changed. When we should have held on to what we had, man. We should have held on to what we had. Now, if you want to do
That's
waffles, that's fine, but still keep the rice and peas and the curry goat and whatnot. Imagine like
right.
years ago, you wouldn't see none of that, man. Like Benjamin would be making Caribbean food, man, making a killing of it. Now it's all
Mhm.
waffles and bread and all this nonsense. But let me move on for time's sake. Give him no liberty in his youth and wink not at his follies.
Mhm.
Bow down his while he's young and beat him on the sides while he's a child. Meaning
Mhm.
discipline him for his doings while he's a
That's
child. When he's a child, you discipline him. You tell him, yo, son, you done this wrong. You done that wrong. Slock it up and get me Isaiah chapter 51 and verse 20. And
gone.
beat him on why he child lest he wax stubborn and be disobedient unto thee. Meaning, if you don't discipline him, he's going to be disobedient unto you, robbing money out your purse,
Right.
robbing money out your wallet, telling you can't tell me nothing. It's gonna become like them children on what Super Nanny. On Super Nanny, man. It's gonna become like them children that are on Super Nanny where the nanny has to come in. And the one good thing you can say about black people is we don't need Super Nanny, man. Yeah,
Gone.
exactly. We got the super belt, man. We got the belt, the wooden spoon. We don't need Super Nanny, man. That thinks she knows it all. The thing is this, and them Edomite kids, they swear at their parents, man. Teach your children not
God,
to swear at you, man. Their
that's
mum don't
right.
give them ice cream. They say, "Well, f off, then, mum."
Right.
In Asda in the aisle, they want a toy in the aisle. The mum don't get them the toy. They tell their mum to f off, man. They say,
Mm.
"Well, mum, f you." They call their mum every swear word under the sun, man. At
God.
least our children don't do that, man. At least our
Mm.
children know better than that. But you teach them not to behave like that. Like black children see white children behaving like that, and our children's looking at them like, I could never. They're looking at them like, I could never act up like that, man. Those
Mm.
those Edomite kids that behave like that over a toy, their parents don't discipline them, and then when they don't get their way, what happens? They want to come and shoot up a school, man. They want to come and shoot
Mm.
up the cinema. Imagine I'm just
Right.
trying to enjoy a movie. I can't watch a movie. Why? Because this Edomite is going to come shoot up the cinema. Why? Because his job fired him. What's his job firing him got to do with the people that's watching the movie in the cinema? Like what they do is they ruin everybody else's life because they're upset that they didn't get a toy. Upset they got laid off from the job. So now they have to ruin everybody else's life. And that's what Esau does, man. He shoots up the cinema. Oh, he was raised wrong. He had mental illness because of how he was raised. Listen, man,
Mm.
look at the way we've been raised, man, and we ain't gone and shut up no school yet.
That's right.
We ain't gonna
Right.
harm nobody, man. What's
Mm.
can read on?
Come on, Isaiah chapter 51, verse 20.
It's lucky once. Let me just finish off this one, and then we get to
Oh,
that one. It says, "Bow down his
yeah.
neck while he's young, beat him on the sides while he's a child, lest he wax stubborn and be disobedient unto thee, and so bring sorrow to thine heart." And he brings sorrow to you, man. He brings shame on you, man.
That's right.
This
Right.
child will bring shame on you, man. Shame upon you and the whole family. So much to what you telling people, "Oh, he's not my child, man." So
That's
much.
right.
He's in Jamaica. People's asking
Mm.
where he's. He's in Jamaica, man. He's in Jamaica doing a plumbing course, knowing damn well he ain't doing no plumbing in Jamaica, man. He's in jail
That's
somewhere. He's in prison. And so bring sorrow to thine heart. Chastise thy son and hold him to labor. Meaning what? Let your son
God.
work, man. That's what you do,
God.
man. You let your son work. Let your
Mhm.
daughters work. Hold them to some labor. Teach your daughters how
Mhm.
to do what? Wash up the two plates, man.
Right.
What's to say? Wash up the two dirty plates, then, man. You teach your daughter, man. Go wash up the two dirty plates, then, man. That's the
Mhm.
Jamaican saying, man. When they say there's two plates, really we know it's a sink full of dishes, man. It's not when Jamaicans say two, it's not literally two. It's
Right.
not literally two. You teach them, man, how to wash the dishes
Mhm.
and so forth, man. Teach your sons how, like when you're putting something up in the house, let them help you, man. Hold them to labor. Because what will
Mhm.
happen is they ain't gonna be able to do nothing. Teach your daughters, how to cook and so forth. Teach your sons how to cook also, man. So they've got life skills in life. Teach them life
Right.
skills so they
Mhm.
don't have to waste money on what? Just eat every single day, man. On the just
Mhm.
eat at home food every single day. Burning the bottom of the right. Teach them these things, man. So let me read on. It says, bow down his neck while he's young, and beat him on the sides while he's a child, lest he wax stubborn and be disobedient unto thee, and so bring sorrow to thine heart. Chastise thy son and hold him to labor, lest his lewd behavior be an offense unto thee. Meaning, you make him do some work, man. So he ain't got time for no lewd behavior, man. Don't let them sit on the internet all day, on the iPad all day. Let
Mm.
them sweep, let them clean the skirting boards, let them, polish, let them
Mhm.
do everything, man. Let them cut the grass when they get to a certain age, so forth, man. Teach them things which is going to benefit them later in life instead of you
Mhm.
teaching them how to twerk on Instagram, instead of teaching them how to sell drugs. Got your son in the passenger seat while you're selling drugs, saying to him, "Yeah, this is what you do. You give it to him, and you take the
Right.
tenner, and you give it." Teaching your sons how to sell drugs. Don't teach them that, man. Teach
Mhm.
them what? Life skills. 'Cause they're gonna need these life skills as they get older, man.
That's right.
Teach them life skills so they have an advantage in life, man. Instead of them growing up and then having to learn how to cook when they're like what 25. Instead of them having to learn how to cook when they're 25. Instead of them learning how to do certain things when they're 25. Teach them things from long. Lest his lewd behavior be an offense unto thee. Uh, uh, Give me Isaiah chapter 51 and verse
20. Can on count Isaiah 51:20? Thy sons have fainted.
Thy
They
sons,
lie.
our sons have become weak, man.
Mm,
And we can't even just blame ourselves for this. Our oppressor plays a big part, man, because of what he
definitely.
puts on. He shows you that a real man has to be Doughboy from Boys in the Hood. It teaches you that a real man has to be Old Dog from Menace to Society. That's what he
Right.
teaches them. Meanwhile, his movies is, Spider-Man, Superman, all of them movies. Meanwhile, a black man to get a superhero movie, I don't think we got not one. And don't say Black Panther, man, because that ain't really a superhero movie for us, man. It's
Good.
an African. Now, whereas everybody else has got what? Superhero movies. Everybody else has got role models to look up to. And growing up black, if your father's not around, your role model becomes who? The drug dealer that's got the most money, the man that's got the biggest car. And that man out there, he doesn't love you. So
like,
when you tell him, go ahead.
God, yeah, that Wakanda crap, man. It's like our people are so destroyed. I couldn't. I did at the time. I didn't understand, but our people are so destroyed that like we'll actually believe. Like some of our people literally believe there's a place called Wakanda, and we're from there. Do you know what I mean? Like, yeah, just yo. You know what I mean? They believe we're from Wakanda, man. If that makes sense.
People actually believed, oh, there was from there and all that nonsense, so forth. And it says, thy sons are fainted, meaning what? Our men have become weak.
Right.
So weak that what? We can't even speak about issues no more. Men want to be women. Men want to let women rule over them. And we've just become weak, man. Like the men you read about in the Bible was masculine. And what you see in 2021 is men that have fainted, man. Men
That's
that have
right.
fainted. Go ahead.
Khan, thy sons have fainted. They lie at the head of all the streets as a wild goat.
And what's at the head of all the streets? A corner, man. Now we fight over a corner, man. We fight over a corner like we own it, like we run it. When the corner is nothing, it's just the corner of a road, man. It's just the corner of a road where the street sign is. We fight over roads and all of this nonsense, man. And postcodes and whatnot. We've become weak, man. Imagine King David and them men were fighting for their nation, man. And we fighting over a postcode that says B21, B6. Imagine we all came on the Windrush together. All got robbed by our oppressor together, man. All was promised stuff by our oppressor that never came to pass together. And now we're at war with each other. When we should side with each other and be like, you ain't the enemy, he's the enemy.
That's right.
We look at each other like we the enemy. When we ain't the enemy, man, we meant to love each other. But because we've become weak and all these movies that they give us on TV and women saying, oh, because that's a real man. Like nowadays, a woman wants to tell you what a real man is. And usually it's often whores trying to tell you what a real man is. Like a real man to her is someone who pays for her nails to get done. A real man to her is someone who doesn't judge her for being a stripper. He sees her good heart. That's a real man to her. You're a real man because I'm a stripper and you see my good heart. To her, that's a real man. That's a real man to her. That she's allowed to strip and this man doesn't pull her up about it. That's a real man. Really, a real man to women nowadays is a homosexual man that allows them to get away with anything, allows them to do whatever they want. To them, that's a real man. There ain't no real man, man. A real man is someone who puts you in your place when you're wrong, man. A real man is a man who, and you've been talking so much, be quiet, man, and listen to me for a change, man. A real man is someone who ain't getting no goddamn flowers for Valentine's Day, man. That's a real man. That's what a real man is, man. Getting no flowers for Valentine's Day. You ain't getting no chocolates for Valentine's Day. Thinking, oh, this proves our love. Valentine's doesn't prove that a man loves you, man. It's a lie, man. Listen, Crawford's favorite line is Ike Turner celebrated Valentine's Day, man. Ike Turner celebrated Valentine's Day, man. And Ike Turner smacked down, man. Listen, man. Ike Turner beating the hell out of Tina Turner in that studio, man. Beat her up in that studio, man. And so forth. And guess what? If you go by in the world. Ike Turner loved her because he brought her flowers, man. Brought
Right.
her
And
flowers,
love.
and he also gave her black eyes as well. Don't forget that part as well. Don't forget the black eyes as well. Don't forget the beatings he gave her in the studio. Let's not forget that part, man. You can't just cling to one part and not the other. The thing is this, man. In the world, they've got a very warped mind, and what they think is a real man ain't a real man. What they think is a real ain't a real woman. Like we've, outside of here, we've got it all mixed up. We've got it all confused. And this is why you need to come in here and untangle your brain, man. Untangle
That's
your
right.
brain, understand what a real man is and what a real woman is, man. Like
Come.
a man's love ain't determined by how much chocolates he gets you, by how much flowers he gets you. Actually, I can read on because we're gonna get to Valentine's Day a bit later on. Go ahead.
Khan, as a what Salakia, they lie at the head of all the streets as a wild bull in a net. They are full of the fury of the Lord.
Listen, man.
The rid-
The Lord's mad at this, man. The Lord's mad at our sons, man. Listen,
That's right.
full of the fury of the Lord, man. Meaning the way that we go in, the Lord has to destroy us, man. We
Right.
lie at every corners. We've become weak. We're meant to be warriors for our nation. Like my thing
Right.
is this: outside of these doors, the men that you see in gangs, you think that the gangsters, man. No word of a lie. I seen some gangsters the other day that so-called shoot people, and you don't want to see them because the criminals and the robbers and the thieves. I seen them singing "Happy Birthday" the other day, man. I saw them singing "Happy Birthday." Don't sound very
Right.
gangster to me. Singing "Happy Birthday." See, mm,
I've seen so-called gangsters here. I've seen women put their things in their face.
mm.
I've seen like proper men that went jail and out of jail, dressing about half a girlfriend. You know,
See.
I can't do it.
Listen, I seen a man riding his scooter, man, at like 50 miles per hour. Couldn't even stop to talk to his friend because he had to bring the roses to his woman, man. He's meant to be a gangster. This man, what you think is a gangster ain't really a gangster, man. What you think is a gangster is just sons who have fainted, who's full of the fury of the Lord. That's all you're seeing is weak men that you think are strong. Really, them men are weak, but you think they're strong. That ain't strong, man. Bowing down to your woman, running and getting the roses, celebrating things you don't want to celebrate.
Right.
Onto me. I can't come out with views like tonight because my woman. Understand this, man. In here, our women don't run us, man. They don't rule over us, man. Now they're allowed an opinion. Does it mean take their opinion on board? No, it don't. Well, listen to it. If it sounds like garbage, it's garbage, man. You're gonna tell me I must get you flowers on Valentine's Day. That's all right. So why should I get you them? Like, what's the reason why I should get you them? Is it because you want them, or is it because the white man said they should get you them? The thing is this, man. Your man can get you flowers any day of the year. Why do you want them on this day? Is it because? And the thing is this: you've never took a liking to flowers any other day of the year, man. You don't like flowers, man. You want flowers? We got grass in the garden, man. You go water the grass in the garden, which is better than which is longer than these roses. Them roses, man, are gonna die, man. They die after how long? After like what, a couple weeks? They die after a couple weeks, man. The grass in the gardens are like, I'll get you a hose pipe and you water the grass, man. Or we got some daffodils in the garden, man, that you can have any day of the year. Or you can plant flowers in the garden, man. You can plant flowers and lilies in the garden, man. Why do you want me to fork out on a big bouquet of roses? I seen a man spend £350 on roses just for this woman to throw it away. What they do is they get the rose petals from the door to the bed. They make a heart with the rose petals. And then they write, I love you. Listen, man. Understand this, man. I can tell my woman I love her without writing it in rose petals, man. I can send her a text message. Or I can tell her out of my save £350, man. I don't need to go. I don't need to go to some florist and buy all the roses and spend time making a heart. Oh, is it symmetrical on each side? I don't need to dim the lights and play some soft music and take her to bed with a heart on it. I don't need to do that, man. Obviously, you think those men are gangsters? Them men are soft, man. Those is men who's fake. Those is men who have fainted, man. Them men are
God.
weak and they're scared of their women. And you doing crimes with them kind of men, they're gonna snitch on you when you all get caught because they can't be without their woman for a
That's
day.
right.
When they get locked up by the police, they're gonna say so and so. It was so and so's gun. It was
Right.
so and so was selling drugs for. Their woman's gonna
Mm,
say, if you want to be together, you have to say it was him. And because they love
mm,
their woman, so and so's gone. And
mm.
then you're and then the whole crew is gonna go to jail. And this man, listen, man, they're all soft at the end of the day. Read on.
Right. Khan, full of the fury of the Lord, the rebuke of thy God. Verse 21. Therefore, hear now this, thou afflicted and drunken, but not with wine.
Us, our people, we afflicted and we drunken, but not with wine. Meaning,
Mm,
we don't know where we're going, where we're coming from, man. We're
mm.
staggering all over the place. We want
Lost.
we want to be Muslims, but then
Mm,
celebrating Catholic holidays, man. We want to
Khan.
be atheists, but then celebrating Christmas. Make your mind up, man. How do you be an
That's right.
atheist? How do you be an atheist but celebrate Christmas? How do you be a Muslim but celebrate Christmas? Make your mind
Right.
up, man. We don't know what we want to be. How do you be and the thing is this, man. None of you black men ain't Muslim. You know why? Because you all like to drink alcohol. Being a Muslim, you're not allowed to drink alcohol, man. You ain't no
Right.
Muslim, man. You're not a Muslim, man. And guess what?
Mm,
You don't need to be no filthy Arab, man. Be a black man where you can drink alcohol, man.
That's right.
Where the
That's right.
Lord knows that yo, you need a strong drink every so often, man. The God of the
That's
Bible
right.
is a black. We're allowed to drink alcohol, whereas these Arabs got no flavor, no salt. That you can't even
That's
have a shot of, man.
mm.
You can't even have a
And so
shot of vodka. These damn
right.
Muslims blowing themselves up. All you're gonna do is end up blowing yourself up, man. Talking about Allah Akbar, man.
Khan and
Yes.
Salakia. Khan. Christ turned the water. Khan.
Yeah,
Christ turned the water into wine, man. You know what I
yeah,
mean? So
exactly.
we know we can have a drink, man. You know what I mean? And be merry, man. You know what I'm
Even
saying?
Christians, you can't drink. Listen, man, we can't drink. Well, I bet you're gonna see us drinking at Purim next week.
That's right.
At the death of our enemies, you're gonna see us with a bottle next week. That's what you're gonna
Mm,
see. People say, "Oh, how
right.
can you let's say and you drink?" Listen, man, we're
Mm,
allowed to drink. We're just not allowed to be alcoholics. We're just not allowed
that's
to be
right.
like so much of our family members are, man. Them same family members that criticize us is the ones drinking Frosty Jack. Is it Frosty Jack? Is it Frosty Jack
Right.
the cider?
Yeah.
Drinking Frosty Jack the cider, man. Tenants opening the bottle every second, pouring it into a pint glass. Listen, man, we don't do that in
Mm-hmm.
here, but I read on.
Khan, verse 22. Thus says the Lord, that the Lord, Slakia, thus says thy Lord, the Lord, and thy God, that pleadeth thy cause, the cause of his people. Behold, I have taken out of thine hand the cup of trembling, even
What?
the dregs.
The cup, the cup of the Lord's fury. The time's
Right?
coming when the Lord's gonna take it out of our hand, man. Meaning
That's
what?
right.
Way we living now, we ain't gonna be living no more. We ain't gonna be oppressed no more. This
Khan.
oppressor ain't gonna be able to bamboozle us no more. He ain't gonna make us celebrate all these pagan holidays no more. We ain't gonna live a
Right.
horrible life no more because the Lord's gonna remove that cup from our hand. Go ahead.
Khan. Thine hand, the cup of trembling, even the dregs of the
Even
cup of my.
the drugs is what's at the bottom of the cup. Like say you got like one of them drinks and then you look at the bottom, you know, we see all the or the horrible part at the bottom. That's the dregs. You getting tea?
Khan.
Oh shit, I didn't even see it. You don't really drink tea. Oh, I just thought that this happens if the tea bag bursts in two. But go ahead.
Khan. Even the dregs, Salakia, of the cup of my fury, thou shalt no more drink it again.
We ain't gonna drink that no more, man. Meaning what? This oppression is gonna be over, man.
That's right.
It's gonna be over, man. Because we're finally gonna get a lion. Listen, I'm excited for a lion. Man. Listen, I'm
Khan.
excited for a lion, man. Imagine in this filthy kingdom, you must work
Right.
5 days for peanuts. And then when you're ready to drop dead and retire, guess what? You've got nothing to show for it in your bank account, man. Like, listen, a black man retires with less than 20 30 grand in the bank, man. Meanwhile, what happens is Like when your parents and grandparents die, you look at the funds like, all right then, all right then, let's work out. Let's use the money they left to pay for their funeral, and you scratching your head like, why? Scratching your head like, why? Granny worked 3 jobs and they ain't even 5 grand there, man. And you can't even blame you. It's because our oppressor's the devil, man. He robs them
That's
blind, has them working 3 jobs, paying them minimum wage, charging them triple in rent. And this is why you think that our oppressor just exiles and makes all this money. It's because he's robbing black people, man.
that's
He
right.
robs us. And that's no word of a lie. They done it the other day. They said that black people get paid less than their European counterparts. And that came out in the news, man. That ain't our words. That came out in the news. So you know we ain't lying about that, man. Go ahead.
And on Khan, verse 23, but I will put it into the hands of them that afflicted thee.
And he's going to put
Wait.
that same coin in the hand of them that afflict thee, meaning what?
That's right.
Going into slavery.
That's right.
He's going to be working for minimum wage.
That's right.
He's not going to be able to afford his parents' funeral. He's going to work 60 years and die with less than £100 in the bank.
Right.
He's going to understand how we felt, man. Because why we had to drink from man, and it's going to be put in their hand, and it's only right, man. And this is why black people shouldn't be trying to save their oppressor, because he ain't ever done. Listen, he had the chance where he could have saved you from certain situations, and he hasn't, man. You're talking about, oh well, he gave me a job. The thing is this: he's just giving you back a crumb of what belonged to you anyway, which is a slap in the face. It's like you have a whole cake. It's like you have a whole cake. And then you're telling me I should be happy because I've got a slice back of my own cake. Nah, man. I want the whole thing back. You by him giving you a job, that's just a crumb of what is taken from you, man. And you're happy for this crumb, which lets you know how far we've fallen, man. Be happy for this little crumb. Like, oh, wow, he gave me a job, so he ain't that bad. He is that bad, man. Him giving you a job, him giving you a crumb of what he stole from you, man. Don't ever give them credit for anything, man. They don't deserve credit for anything, man. Read on.
Khan. But I will put it into the hand of them that afflicted thee, which have said to thy soul, bow down, that we may go over.
They tell us to bow down, man. They tell us to bow down, and we've been bending over backwards for them, man. We've builded up their streets, builded up their railways, builded up the NHS. We bow down, man. They tell us, you know what? You black people just die and be quiet about it. And we actually be quiet about it, man. You try and protest. Priti Patel tells you what? Oh, it's ridiculous. She tells you that your protesting is ridiculous, man. Which means you're protesting because a black man got killed, even though protesting ain't the way. She tells you that it's ridiculous, meaning black people are allowed to get killed and who cares? And listen, I can't stand that Priti Patel, man. I can't stand her, man. She hates black people, man. She's the one that sends the Windrush generation home, man. She's the one that sends the Windrush generation home. Meanwhile, her ancestors, she lets them stay here, man. Her ancestors who can't speak a lick of English, man, they're allowed to stay here and put Mendy and put Mendy on their, what's it called? Put Mendy on, put a bindi on their forehead, man. Putting binders on their forehead to now that little Uzi Vert's got a diamond bindi. That's a diamond bindi, man. Little Uzi Vert thinking what he's got is something new, man. These East Indians putting that nonsense on their forehead, the Mendy on their hands, and all them silly little rings. Can't speak a lick of English, brushing their teeth with, what is it, tree bark? Brushing their tree with barn or whatever it is. And these is the people that she allows to stay in the country, man. Meanwhile, you got Caribbean people, man. That clean, that wash, smell fresh, serve some purpose. And she wants to deport them, man. Meanwhile, her people are here doing nothing, man. All they're doing is what? Making new temples everywhere. Everywhere you go, there's a Sikh temple. Every single street is a Sikh temple. Tapasar Road, how much temples do they want, man? Tapasar Road, there's a Sikh temple. The Batmasar Road, there's a Sikh temple. I'm sick of seeing them, man. Maybe they need to go home back to India and they can build all their temples there, man. That's where they need to go. Go back to India and build your masjids and your temples there, man. Everywhere we walk, we have to see a temple. But drop that. Give me a 1 Timothy chapter 5 and verse 8.
So let me just finish up on that one.
All right, go ahead.
you don't mind, Khan. And thou hast laid thy body as the ground and
We lie
as the
down like
streets.
man. Meaning we lie down and let them walk all over us. We've become
Right.
this man's doormat, man. When we was
Mhm.
fighting in his army, we became his doormat. Meaning we go on the front lines and die while he's in the back
Yep.
and he lives to tell the tale. I survived World War One and World War Two. I'm a war hero with the medals. Meanwhile, they ain't even found Watertoe's body yet, man. He was greater than all these oppressors in the war. They ain't even found his body, man. Someone said they could have got killed by friendly fire, said they could have got shot in the back of the head. They ain't even found his body on the field, man. Meaning they just didn't want to bury him, man. Why? Because he's a black man. Was you gonna say something?
You even like the guy, Thomas More.
Mhm.
How do we know that he's a chef?
Right. Mhm.
That everyone talks about the army and being in the army automatically means warrior,
Mhm.
the chef,
Mhm.
cook, financial officer.
Mhm. Exactly, could have been anything. People are crying because Sir Thomas More, some Edomite that walked in his garden died, and it came out the other day that over Christmas they went Barbados. Did you know they went Barbados? They went to Barbados on a family holiday. Listen, Thomas More, you should have. He died from COVID, right? Listen, Thomas More. Listen, Thomas More. You shouldn't have broke the lockdown rules, man. Your prime minister
Right.
said stay at home to stop the spread of COVID-19, man.
Mhm.
Thomas, you had to learn the hard way why you should have stayed at home, man.
That's right.
Thomas More should have stayed at home and he might not have got COVID-19, man. This man went
Cool.
Barbados on a family holiday. Listen, Thomas More, you could have been here right now. You listen to Boris Johnson. I don't want to hear nothing about black people must stay home and 10. Actually, furthermore, Thomas More needs to pay a £10,000 fine, man. Out of the millions he raised, he needs to pay a £10,000 fine, man. He owes that fine, man, because he's
Right.
part of the spread of COVID-19. They went on a
Mhm.
family holiday to Barbados. I'm not sure if he went, but I know his family went because it came out in the news today, and it said that Piers Morgan defended them. He defended their family holiday, which lets you know that our oppressor, he's allowed to do whatever he wants, and he gets away with whatever he wants. Read on.
That Slakia, to them that went over.
And
So
they
they
just
bend
go
their
all
Khan. Right.
we let dormant, man. Give me First Timothy chapter 5 and verse 8.
Khan. Timothy 5.
Hold on one second.
Um,
Yeah, go ahead.
Khan. Slakia, do you mind if I get Deuteronomy 30 verse 6 to 7?
Go ahead.
Khan. Deuteronomy chapter 30 verse 6. And the Lord thy God will circumcise thine heart and the heart of thy seed to love the Lord thy God with all thine heart and with all thy soul, that thou mayest live. Verse 7. And the Lord thy God will put all these curses upon thine enemies and on
Meaning what?
them.
Meaning what? Our position's going to change, man. You see, like now, how we cursed and whatnot. The day is coming when what? We're going to serve the Lord, and all them curses is going to be put on our enemies, man. All them curses is going to be put on our enemies. Oppression, lack of brotherhood and everything is going to be put on them, man. The white man's
Right.
not going to understand. Like, he's going to look at us and say, he's going to, then again, he's going to understand. He's going to understand. I know why usually I treated me like this because I treated you like this, man. He's going to come to us for a loan in the bank. And I'm going to say, I'm just checking your credit score. This man's going to have good credit. I'm going to press a button that rejects it. I'm going to say, your credit's bad.
That's right.
The same things they do to us. I'm going to say, you
Exactly.
want a loan. I'm going to say, you want a loan. I'm going to say 40% interest. He's going to say, but you told that black man is 5% interest. I'm going to say, he's my brother. You're not, man. I'm going to put the
Right.
interest rate through the roof, man. And I'm going to say, you know what? Actually, I'm going to offer him the loan. Then I'm going to say, actually, you know what? I just thought about how you treated me back in the past. I changed my mind now. I'm gonna say, I thought about how you treated me when you ruled over me. I changed my mind now. You ain't getting this loan, man. But, was there anything else from that verse?
They got no pity, man. Salakia. They a little bit more Salakia. And on them that Salakia, and I'll put the and the Lord thy God will put all these curses upon thine enemies and on them that hate thee, which persecute thee.
Pretty Patel hates us. Boris Johnson hates us. The
Right.
Chinese hate us. That's why when the sister goes into the Chinese shop, this man's doing all this kung fu on her, man. Over what? £10 nails, £20 nails. Listen, man, he's doing all this kung fu on there, man. Because why? They hate black people, man.
That's
Arabs hate black people. Also, all these
true.
races of people hate black people. But go ahead.
So okay, that was it on that, yeah.
All right, give me First Timothy
Terrific.
chapter 5 and verse 8.
Go on. Oops. Go on. 1 Timothy chapter 5, verse 8. But if any provide not for his own, especially for those of his own house.
Now people think provide means you have to buy all the food in the house. You have to pay for everything. You have to pay for your wife's wig. You have to pay for all of that nonsense. You have to pay for her nails. You have to pay for everything. That's what people think this means. Well, you're a man and you're not providing. They think that's what it means when it talks about provide. It ain't talking about none of that, man. Listen, you do not have to pay for your woman's wig, man. She wants a new wig. You do not have to pay for it, man. Tell her money's low and rock cane rolls, man. Tell her money's low, rock them cane rolls for a bit, man. You don't have to pay for the wig. You don't have to pay for her nails. You don't need to buy your children a PlayStation 5. You don't need to buy your children all these things, the iPad, the new Nike trainers that they believe they must have. Go ahead.
Salakia, if I may, can I try and answer what it is, if you don't mind?
Ahead.
Is that what, yeah? So is it talking about the school itself, not like your house, but the school of the Lord, like the I.S.U.P.K? Is that
this one here? At the time when Paul was saying it, Paul was writing to the school, but this one's double fold. This also your own house as well.
Okay, two folds. Okay.
Provide not his own, and especially for those of his own house, have denied the faith.
Right.
And what's the faith?
Keeping the laws, isn't it? The laws. Your belief, you believe in the laws, statutes, and commandments, and Yahweh.
What's the simpler word for it? The faith. What's the simpler word for it?
Keeping the laws. That's all I got right now. So like, yeah, but that's all.
Is the truth. So when you say denied the faith, you've denied the truth. Because why?
Right.
What you're supposed to provide for your house is no birthdays, no Christmas, no Easter. You're meant to teach them the faith of what they should do and what they shouldn't do. And if you don't provide the truth in the house and you know it, you've denied the faith. Meaning you ain't truth if you're letting your children celebrate birthday parties and you're throwing the birthday party for them. And obviously now if you've got a rib that a woman that you've got children with and you're not with her, obviously she's gonna do what that wants. Obviously you're not responsible, but you can't be because you love your kids saying, "Oh well, I'm gonna throw you a birthday party." You've denied the faith. Now what you're supposed to do in the house is we ain't eating no pork, we ain't eating no shrimp, you ain't gonna be no stripper, you ain't gonna be no drug dealer. That is like everything the truth requires. You're supposed to provide that. We're not doing this. We're not doing this. We're not doing this. And that's what it says. If you don't provide them things, you're worse than an infidel or unbeliever. Because you're a man that knows and you ain't providing it, so you're worse than an unbeliever. Meaning you have to be a doer of the word and not just a hearer. But jump down to verse 13.
Verse 13. And with all they learn to be idle, wandering about.
Now, you're not raising your sons and daughters right. They learn to be idle, and that's what in the Apocrypha it says what? That you hold them to labor, man. Because why? When they're doing work, they ain't got time to chat people's business, man. When they're doing work, man, they ain't got time to be on Facebook arguing with everybody, indirecting everybody. They ain't got that time, man. Why? Because they're tired from that labor, man. Like, listen, man. Like with us, like we go to the slave and then we go home and we're tired, man. Listen, we do so much work in the school that if we see someone on the street that wants to battle, you're right, okay. We just say to okay, you're right, believe what you want. We just be like, all right, you're right, what you want, man. Who's got time to be battling some lunatic that doesn't believe it anyway? Imagine you work hard, and then you see some lunatic that doesn't believe anyway. Why even waste your time? Like most people are miserable and just want to waste your time. Oh,
Right.
you the Bible means this, but when I read here, it says this. Okay, whatever you read's correct. Okay, you're right. You do whatever you want. We ain't got time to be going back and forth with no lunatics, man. If you do want to battle us or whatnot, you just phone under ends on Friday, man. You phone under ends on Friday. I ain't gonna waste my lunch break talking to you who don't believe anyway. Like once you're not idle, you start to realize how precious time is, man. You see, once you're busy, you start to realize how precious time is, man. You start to realize how beautiful them lions are, man. Like, imagine you phone for counsel. Imagine you phone me for counsel and I spend 2 hours giving you the counsel and you disregard it anyway. Just imagine you don't listen anyway. You've done wasted 2 hours of my time, man. And then you're gonna come and say, "Oh, I didn't do what you told me to do, but it didn't. I never followed the counsel." I'm like, well, that's fine. Next time, just phone somebody else. Officer Coffee will take your calls. Okay. Officer Coffee will take your call and he'll deal with it. Huh? he'll deal with it. Go ahead.
Idle is lucky. And withal they learn to be idle, wandering about from house to house, and not
house, man. And everybody, man, talking about I saw this, I saw that. Some of them even come round and have a coffee, man. Get a coffee ready for the gossip, man. They get the coffee and the biscuits, man. Some of them be like, wait, don't start gossip until we got the coffee, man. Yeah, the tea, that's what they call it, the tea. I've got the tea. They come around and say, "Oh, I can't wait to see you. I got something to tell you." Listen, man. Don't let them be idle, because when they're idle, they got time to be tattlers and busybodies and going from house to house. Go ahead.
And not only idle, but tattlers also and busybodies.
Go ahead.
Speaking things which they ought not.
Busybodies, man. Speaking things which they ought not, meaning chatting everybody's business, man. Chatting everybody's business, man. Talking everybody's business. Some people come to your house and watch what you got in your house, man, and go chat, man. Some people come to your house and watch what you got in there and go chat, man. Busybodies, man. Chatting everything. And listen, man.
Right.
Yeah, I want to look around and pre what you got and take pictures. And the thing is this, you do know that when you tell someone something and say, "Don't tell nobody," they go and tell someone that. You do know it. You do know it every time you say to someone, "Don't tell nobody." They go and tell one person, tell that person not to tell nobody. That person tells someone and tells someone not to tell nobody. Listen, how about just keep your... go ahead.
Verse 14. I will therefore that the young women marry. Their children.
Women marry and get a man, meaning what? Once you've got a man, you're not miserable like ZZ Mills, man. You ain't on the podcast all day like ZZ Mills, man. Talking about men must get this for Valentine's Day. Meanwhile, ZZ Mills ain't got a man, man. All ZZ Mills has is sex toys and batteries, man. That's all ZZ Mills has, is Duracells and whatnot. I'm trying to buy batteries for my TV remote. There's none in stock because ZZ Mills has got them, man. ZZ Mills got all them batteries. I put batteries in my remote, man. Because I got to press the buttons by the TV, man. Because ZZ Mills got all the batteries, man. And she's got the biggest mouth. What does the Bible say? Let the young women what?
I will therefore that the young women marry.
People like ZZ Mills need to marry, man, so they learn to shut up, man, and stop being in everybody else's. This right here is talking about ZZ Mills. One, she's idle, she's a tattler, she's a busybody, she's speaking things she ought not, but a man must buy his woman stuff for Valentine's Day. That's something you ought not to say, man. A man must do this. You ain't even got a man that can do anything, man. All you got is the rampant rabbit. Is that the name, the rampant rabbit? All she's got is the rampant rabbit. That's all she's got, man. And all she's got is the rampant rabbit and the bullet, man. The bullet, what is it called? The bullet. The bullet, man. And she's got all these opinions, man. She needs to keep her mouth shut, man. What did he say? Read on. He said what?
Bear children. Guide the house.
ZZ Mills needs to be quiet and get married, man. If I had it my way, I would get some Gorilla Glue for ZZ Mills' mouth, man. I'd get some Gorilla Glue, man. That sister that had it in her hair, what was her name? TITHES. Oh, well, oh, that's good. Can I borrow her Gorilla Glue? And we just shut ZZ Mills' mouth for good, man. Because she just talks nonsense. It's not. The only way she's going to shut up is if we use that Gorilla Glue. But go ahead.
I don't care. Bad children. Oh, so that means lucky. Can't. Right. Bad children guide the house.
Now, when a woman's busy and she's married and she's got children, she's got less time to be a busybody and idle going from house to house. Why? Because she's got all them children, man. You know how it goes. A woman with all them children can't go house to house because she's busy, man. Junior's bedtime's 8 o'clock, man. Junior's got to be in bed because he's got school tomorrow, man. You can't go from house to house no more, man. It's supposed to be like this, man. Therefore, the younger women marry bare children, guide the house. Go ahead.
Give none occasion to the adversary to speak reproachfully.
Give no occasion, man, for this white man to see that you put your man on child support and black people can't get along. Give no occasion for him to see that we operate incorrectly, man. Give no occasion, man. Meaning, don't put your arguments on Facebook. You don't put your all your relationship troubles on Facebook. Because what happens is people screenshot it and people keep them and whatnot. And when you talk about, oh, how much you love you, man, they just know, oh, you're lying. They just be like, oh, you found the police on him last month. And they give you the date and the screenshot of when you found the police on him. But drop that. Give me Proverbs chapter 13 and verse 24. I'm going to try through this before we change gears. Before we go into Valentine's Day. Give me Proverbs 13 and 24.
Proverbs chapter 13, verse 24. He that spareth his rod hateth his son.
He that what?
He that spareth his rod hateth his son.
Meaning you that spareth the rod, you hate your son, man. You hate your son.
Right.
Why? Because you ain't correcting him. You ain't disciplining him. So you're just letting them do whatever they want. Whereas now, because we've gone so far from the truth, we think that letting our children do what they want to do is love. We think letting them run wild, do all the crazy stuff they want to do, we think that that is love. But that's actually hate, man. That's actually hate. Like, love is you giving your child a curfew, man. Telling your child, you ain't going there, you ain't going here, you ain't doing this, you ain't doing that. But we've been taught that love is just letting your child run free. Love is telling you, making your children come in from school, do their homework, take their clothes off, and so forth.
Right.
Like some parents have their kids out after school, straight outside, school uniform, let them change it, man. Why? Because the local neighbors are chatting you, man. Look at our son's just outside in his uniform, the shirt color's black and all of that. Remember that one with the shirt color was black? You remember? Neckback shirt. Listen, I don't think there's a way to even get that white again, is there? Nah, man, you can't. I don't think you can. I don't think that. Listen, once that shirt color goes black, I don't. To our point, can it go back white? I don't think it can. Can it?
Can't. I'd say yeah.
Everybody get a good. It's like you say that again.
Can if you get a good Benjamin woman on that one, you know what I mean? She'll sort it out. Yeah.
Yo.
Yeah, I say so. Yeah, can.
Yo, that once that goes black, I don't know. So, read on.
God. He that spareth his rod hateth his son, but he that loveth him chasteth him betimes.
Meaning you chasten your son many times, man, until he gets it correct. And chastening ain't always beating them, man. There's other things you can make them do. Can make them do chores, can make them do push-ups, and so forth. And that strengthens them, man. Like when you show your children tough love, people say, oh, look at him making his child jog. It's discipline, man. You let your child jog and say, listen, you're going to run half a mile. And you tell them why they're doing it. Listen, man, you discipline them. They'll get stronger and so forth. And they will love you for it when they get older, man. They'll love you for it. But when you leave a child to their self, they're going to grow up and they're going to say, well, my parents didn't teach me nothing. My parents taught me no discipline, no nothing. But drop that. Give me Ecclesiasticus chapter 7 and verse 23. Now we're back in the Apocrypha.
God, Ecclesiasticus chapter 7, verse 23. Hast thou children?
Yeah. Carry on. In a minute, we're going to change gears. We have to get to Valentine's Day, man. We have to get to it, man. Go ahead.
Kanokan, hast thou children? Instruct them and bow down.
Instruct them, man. Meaning,
That's
children, if you don't instruct them, they're going to do whatever seems right. So you need to let them know. You don't do this. You don't do this. You instruct them. Go ahead.
Kanokan, bow down their neck from their youth.
Bow down their neck from their youth, meaning when they're young, put them in order, man. Discipline them. Teach them the right way to go. Teach them a man is meant to be a man and a woman is meant to be a woman. So forth. Teach them things. Go ahead.
Kanokan, verse 24. Hast thou daughters?
Have you got daughters? Go ahead.
Khan, as thou daughters have a care of their body.
Care for their body, meaning what? You see how they plan to leave the house, man. See how they're dressing and whatnot. Because what will happen is, in a woman's life, she'll get to that stage of, well, everybody else is dressing like that. I want to dress like that too. So you need to teach them from young that not all attention is good attention, man. You need to teach them the way you're dressing. The kind of man that's going to be approaching you ain't a man that's going to be with you long term. This man's going to come have sex with you, and you're not going to hear from him again. And he's going to treat you based on how you dress, man. Now, some women don't want to dress all covered up. Why? Because they feel like they're ugly. It's nothing to do with that, man. And the kind of men that ain't approaching you when you dress modestly, that's not the kind of man you need anyway. Let that man deal with the hoes, man. You be a woman who's held to a higher standard, that a man who's got his head screwed on, who's the right man, will know that, all right, then, But if you just dress half naked every day, what you're going to do is you're always going to be having a new man. Every man you're going to say, oh, yeah, I think I found the one. Next time, I think this one's the one. I think this one's the one. And before you know it, you're a lesbian. Why? Because you didn't dress the right way, man. Now, a man will tell you, I don't mind how you dress, but really, he does mind. He'll just tell you what you want to hear because he knows he just wants to have sex with you. So he'll tell you what you want to hear. You will listen to him, and you'll think, that's really loves me for who I am. No, man. He don't like you for who you are. He likes you for the miniskirt and you got your legs all out and the high heels and your breast all out. He likes you for that, man. And he can't wait to get you home and deal with you. Then after that, once he sleeps with you a few times, he's going to get bored and you're not going to hear from him again. And all these demands that you got, he's going to be like, I'm bored of it. I don't care about these demands no more. All them high demands that you got, that you must get flowers and chocolates. He's going to bounce, man. He's going to be like, you know what? In exchange for the sex she's given me, the bad attitude she's got, and the wants that she got, it's not a fair exchange. He's going to be like, in exchange for sex, she wants a Birkin bag, and the amount of money that cost is more valuable to me than her. I'm gonna just knock this one on the head. This one can go. She wants to argue and fight all day. God. Ask for more. Why? When you two started whatever you started, it was all based off it was the wrong energy anyway. He liked you not because of who you are and not because of how pretty you are. He liked you because why? You dress horribly, man. Right? You dress like a whore. You dress like a hooker, and he's just something easy. So you think, oh, I'm gonna sleep with this drug dealer a few times, and then eventually he's gonna buy me a car. He ain't gonna buy you a car, man. He's just gonna leave his drugs at your house. He's gonna leave his gun at your house. And then when the police raid, you're gonna say, oh, he manipulated me to do it. All men are trash. Listen, man. You don't know what a good man is. All men are trash is because you dress like trash, man.
That's
you dress like trash. Like a trash can, like when people a trash can, what do they throw in there? They throw rubbish, man. And you're just like a trash. So what are you gonna attract? Trash? And you're saying all men are trash. The thing is this: all the men that approach you are trash. That's all it is. The men that are good, the men that are good men will never approach you, man, because they see that you're trash, and the good men don't want trash. It's that simple, man. But you keep dressing like that, and you're gonna keep getting with trash, and talking about all men are trash, all men are trash. The thing is this, based on how you dress, I mean, what did you expect to get? Did you expect to get a prince? Did you expect to get someone with morals and high standards? Well, dressing like that, you ain't gonna get no one, man. All you are gonna get is who? The drug dealer, the criminal, and a man that wants a woman that's so easy that's gonna have sex with him in the first 20 minutes, man. That's all you're gonna get. And then to Zarpon, after all of that, they label all men trash. Meanwhile,
Right.
we wouldn't touch them with a, what's the word to say? I wouldn't touch her with a what? I
Well,
wouldn't touch her with a barge pole, man. Whereas the good men wouldn't touch you with a barge pole, man. Why?
right.
They know that you have problems, and they know they're gonna get with you, and you're gonna cheat on them next week with a man that can buy you chocolates and biscuits. Read on before I get carried away.
God, oh God. As thy daughters have a care of their body, and show not thyself cheerful towards them.
And listen, man, have a care for their body and don't show yourself cheerful towards them. Teach your daughter that you dress like trash. The men you're gonna attract are gonna be trash.
Right.
Teach her that the men you attract are gonna be trash because you dress like trash. Go ahead.
Come
Teach her
on,
that.
verse
You'll stick with her as she grows up. Go ahead.
Come. Verse 25. Marry thy daughter, and so shalt thou have performed a weighty matter.
Whereas back then, you would marry your daughter off. Meaning
Right.
you would what? Sit down with another brother and look at his son and be like, all right, he comes from good stock.
That's right.
He comes from you. And I know
Yeah.
that you're a man that raised your son right, who's going to teach my daughter right. So let's make them get married. So that's how you would do it. Whereas nowadays, everyone's just raised wild. Like, listen, man. Listen, man. My sister, she's got a partner, man. And when I see him, I'm gonna ask him a few questions. I'm gonna ask him, so are your parents still together? If he says no, I'm gonna look down on him. Like, my parents ain't even together, but I'm still gonna look down on him. Like, listen, man. That's the thing. Like back then, you'd ask those questions. So, all right, what's your family background? Like back then, people would look down on you if your parents wasn't still together. But nowadays, none of our parents are together. But I'm gonna ask him the question: is his parents still together? Even though mine ain't, I'm gonna push my nose up at him if he says no. I'm gonna say, you should went with a man from good stock. I'm gonna turn my nose up. I'm like, me and him ain't in the same boat. But read on.
But give her to a man of understanding.
Give her to a man of understanding, man.
That's right.
A man that knows how. A man that knows how to rule. A man that knows how to rule over her the correct way. A man that's not gonna beat her up. A man that's not gonna snort cocaine with her like Whitney and Bobby. A man that ain't gonna do none of that, man. Give her to a man of understanding. A man who serves the Lord, man. And then you don't have to worry. You don't have to worry about if your daughter's being beaten up behind closed doors and so forth. But drop that. Let me just quickly go to Valentine's Day, because really a lot of men was upset, man. Give me 1 Peter chapter 3 and verse 7.
First Peter chapter 3, verse 7. Likewise, ye husbands, dwell with them according to knowledge.
Dwell with them according to knowledge, meaning according to understanding. Like, listen, it's your wife, so obviously you dwell with them, you honor your wife. But honoring your wife doesn't mean do everything that she says. Like, people see when it says honor your wife, it don't mean you serve her and you do everything she says, man. Read on.
Yeah. Khan. Salakia. According to knowledge, dwell with them according to knowledge, giving honor unto the wife as unto the weaker vessel.
She's the weaker vessel, man, meaning what? She's more emotional. She should be anyway. She's more emotional and she's more caught up with what she sees on Instagram. Not all women, so I'm caught up with the rest of the world celebrating Valentine's Day. So I want in on this Valentine's Day. She's more caught up with that. Whereas You ain't. She's the weaker vessel. So how are you making her rule over you, man? You're
Right.
meant to understand. You're meant to dwell with her according to knowledge and let her know. Listen, I understand you want flowers and whatnot, but this is a pagan holiday, and I'm not about to do that. But what you do
That's
is you let the weaker vessel become stronger than you, man. You let her
mm,
demand what she wants. You give in to
mm,
all her demands. Like Valentine's Day ain't even about the men. It's about the woman, man. It's not about the men. The men have to go with the flow. They're miserable. They're upset. They don't want to do it, but they have to. Why? Because this
mm,
woman will tell them, "Oh, I'm never going to see you again. I'm
mm,
never going to speak to you again," and all of those kind of things. Man. And they feel compelled that I have to do this. I have to give in. Don't give in, man. Stop feeling compelled, man. Like,
right.
stop feeling compelled to give in, man. The thing is
Mm,
this. They say Valentine's Day comes around once a year. Now, if your woman is forcing you to buy her flowers on Valentine's Day, really, man, the white man's got more control over her than you do, man. The white man's got
that's
more authority over her than you do. Why?
uh,
Because she listens to him and she don't listen to you, man. She listens to that man. He says, "Oh, you
mhm,
must get flowers on this day." She listens to
mhm,
that devil, but she don't
right.
listen to you, which means you
Mm,
ain't got no power in that house, man. And being that she listens to the white man so much, I'm gonna use the white man's definitions to let her know that she's a bully, man. Pull me up the definition of a. Actually, first of all, pull me up the definition of a secret admirer. Listen, man. If you're a man
mm,
that's a secret admirer, you're the biggest simp that ever is, man.
mm,
If you're a secret admirer, sending women flowers and them not knowing
mm,
who it is, you're the biggest simp this world's ever seen, man. Don't be so
right.
secret. Pull up the definition of it. What does it say?
Someone who shows that he or she thinks highly of a person as by sending flowers, but keeps his or her identity a secret from
Hidden.
them.
Man, if I'm sending you any flowers, man, you're gonna know it's me, man.
That's right.
Imagine
That's
you're
right.
doing all keep your identity
Oh,
secret. I'm gonna tell you
mm,
why you're keeping your identity secret. Because you like
mhm,
her and she don't like you back, man. You
right.
like her and she don't like you back. You
Mhm,
try to tell her that you like her and she slaps. She's like, "Oh, stop it!" And you ain't you don't know how to tell her that you like her. So you be a
mm,
secret admirer, thinking she's gonna get the hint that it's you. Guess what? She don't know it's you. She thinks it's the man that she actually fancies, man.
that's
Hmm?
right.
She's thinking it's me and it ain't.
Mm,
She's thinking
right.
it's me and it ain't. Meanwhile, you're sending
Okay.
hiding identity, secret admirer. Oh, you're so beautiful, XXX with a
Mm,
card. She doesn't know it's you. And guess why she doesn't know it's you? Because she don't even look at you in that way, man. She don't even
right.
like you in that way. So much that you have to remain a secret admirer. You're having dreams about this woman and she ain't interested in you, man. This is what you do, man. If you like a woman, you tell her, man. And if she don't like you, guess what? Just move on, man. Instead of being some secret admirer. You're a secret admirer sitting there, hiding behind the internet, sending flowers and a teddy bear to her house. And she don't
Mm,
even know it's you. So you've just gave up money for free, man.
right.
Secret admirer. She don't like you in that way, and this is why you've remained a secret. Pull up the definition of creepy, because that's what you are, man. You creepy, man. You
Mm,
thinking you're doing something cute, secret admirer. She don't like you, man. You're a creep. Give me the definition of creepy.
Creepy, causing an unpleasant feeling.
You cause her an unpleasant feeling, man, because she don't like you, man. And
mm,
your secret admirer. If she found that it was you, she's saying to her friends, "You know what? He brought me chocolates, and I don't even like him. I don't like him
mhm,
that way. I just use him for a lift. I just use him to change my car tire." She don't like
mhm,
you, man. She discusses it with her friends, and you causing her a what?
Causing an unpleasant feeling or fear or unease.
When you flirt with her, man, she's unease, man. Like, look what he said to me. I don't look at him in that way. You causing her
mm,
an feeling, man. She doesn't fancy you, man. And that's why you're a secret admirer. Because you have to remain a secret. Why? Because you fancy her and she doesn't fancy you, man. And
right.
you're doing all these things because you love her so much and she don't like you the same way. She don't care about you. She don't even she knows you like her, but she don't play into it because she don't want to hurt your feelings, but she wants to keep you close. UK group. I don't know her name, but it's Daniela's mom. Oh, no, sorry, no, sorry. So she doesn't like you. She don't care about you, and you're being the secret admirer, man. And also for men that do celebrate Valentine's Day, they hate it, man. Your woman's forcing you to do it, man. Now you
Right.
like to listen to Chris so much. We're gonna pull up his definitions. Pull up me the definition of coerce. Because that's what you women do, man. That celebrate Valentine's Day. You coerce a man to buy things he don't want to buy, man. Says our pawn, listen. They listen to our oppressor so much, we're gonna use their oppressor's words for him to listen to right now, man.
Right.
Persuade an unwilling person.
To do what?
Persuade an unwilling person.
You force a man to buy you things that he don't want to buy, man. You force a man to put rose petals. He's unwilling, he don't want to do it, but you threaten, oh, I'm gonna leave you if you don't do it. You're horrible, man. You cruel. You're forcing a man to do things he don't want to do. You coerce him celebrating something he don't want to celebrate. He hates Valentine's Day, man. Imagine you tell her it's against my religious beliefs, and she says, "Well, I celebrate it, so you have to." You're a bully, man. You coerce him to do an unwilling person. He's unwilling to bend his ways, but you force him to. You can't just say, "You know what? I understand you don't celebrate it, so I understand." You can't understand. You don't want to understand because you only care about yourself. You only care about chocolate and biscuits. Read the definition for me.
Persuade an unwilling person to do something by forcing.
You forced them, man. You forced this man and force or threats. You threaten him. I'm gonna leave you if you don't get me this. I can't be with a man that don't celebrate Valentine's Days. You coerce him into an unwilling person into doing things that he don't want to do. You force him to celebrate Easter and Christmas. You bully him into it, man. And you don't understand that you're a bully. Pull me up the definition of a bully. I'm gonna show you that you bullies, man. You forcing the man to celebrate. You don't want to. You're a bully, and men in here ain't going to be bullied by no woman, man. Pull me up the definition of a bully.
Bully, a person who habitually seeks to harm or intimidate.
And you intimidate men, man. You don't understand that you're bullying them. You coerce them.
That's
you force them to do things they don't want to do. You're a bully, man. You are. You're a bully, and you bully men into doing things that they don't want to do. You bully a man into buying you flowers that he don't want to buy. How much more beautiful is it when a man brings you flowers, when he feels like bringing you flowers, when you know it's genuine? Valentine's Day is not genuine, man. You coerce him to doing things he don't want to do. You bully him and threaten him to buy flowers, man. You threaten him with ending the relationship if he don't buy the flowers. If a woman tells you she's gonna because you don't buy her flowers, the best thing you can do is let her leave, man. You know why? Because you're gonna be buying flowers for the next 10 years, the next 20 years. You just let her leave. She's gonna leave, man. Don't allow no woman to coerce you into doing things you don't want to do. Why you allow her to coerce you into doing things you don't want to do? Next minute, she's gonna be handcuffing you to the bed, and you're gonna be you're gonna become letting her coerce you to buy flowers. There's nothing from next. She's gonna be whipping you and all of them. She's a locker. She's gonna be whipping you and all of them things, man. She's gonna coerce you into all of them things, man. Don't allow her to coerce you into things that you don't want to do, man. That's right. Definitely narcissist. They like to say men are narcissists, but you women forcing men to celebrate Valentine's Day, you're a narcissist and you don't even know it. But you love listening to our oppressor. You can listen to his definition, believe them as well. What's a narcissist?
Narcissist, a person who has an excessive interest in or admiration of themselves.
And you're selfish. You only care about yourself, man. This man doesn't want to celebrate Valentine's Day, but you what you want to celebrate Valentine's Day. This man doesn't. This man says it's against his religious beliefs, but you don't care about what he believes because you're a narcissist and you don't even know it. Go back to the definition. You're a narcissist and you don't even know you're a narcissist. You're selfish and you're cruel and you're mean and you don't even know it. Read the bottom line.
Narcissists who think the world revolves around them.
You think the world revolves around you, man. You think this man must do everything for you because you're a narcissist and you don't even know it. You're also a bully. You also coerce men into celebrating things they don't want to celebrate. And you're horrible to men and you don't even know that you're a bully. You're a narcissist. and you're a bully again, and you're a narcissist again, and you don't even know it.
So Salakia.
Go ahead.
Yeah, sorry to chip in, but so a narcissist is a bully, right? Is that did I hear right?
A narcissist is someone who only thinks about themselves, who only cares about themselves. Like you could say, "Oh, I love you, but I'm not celebrating Valentine's Day because of my religious beliefs." A narcissist is someone who be like, "I don't give a damn about your beliefs. I want flowers." That's a narcissist. And what you'll find is February the 14th, you'll see 90% of these women are narcissists. These men are running around with roses on their scooter, almost going to crash. 350 pounds on roses to please this narcissist. This is the thing, man. You should get a card that says you're a narcissist and you're a bully and you ain't getting no flowers. That's what you should get. But with that, that brings us to the end of the time. But if you did get roped into celebrating Valentine's Day this year, you just play this to your woman that she's a bully and she's a narcissist.
Right.
And don't be coerced into celebrating nonsense. So we're gonna what do you say? It's in the UK group. All right then.
Security announcement where the I.S.U.P.K started out of 1 West, 125th Street, Harlem, New York, under commanding General YAHANNA. Rule for a new brother and sister. When a new brother or sister comes into the school, they are off limits for 6 months. They are to be saluted only. They are here to shed themselves of the world. If they need transportation, the teacher will arrange it. After 6 months, if a brother or sister has an interest in a particular person, he or she must get permission from the head to speak to a brother or sister. There is another 6 months in which the brother and sister will call each other. After this 6-month period, the brother and sister will get permission from the head to marry. Tithes, which is a commandment, Numbers 18:21, Malachi 3 and 8 to 10, means 10 for the Hebrew, Ma'ashira, 10% of every penny of any increase the Lord gives you. Give to the Treasury Department or the teacher. Pre-fund, not mandatory, whatsoever amount you like to give. Upcoming holy convocation is Purim, February 25th and February 26th. All Akam and Aqua, check the bulletin board in the hallway and check all I.S.U.P.K social media. If anyone wants to be a trooper in the school, start wearing all black boots, shirt, pants, headband, and headscarf. With that, I'm Madiam. Get name.
Just say
Lord's Prayer, Abanawa, Shabbat, Shemayim, Kodash, Hayah, Shamkar, Yahweh, Malakukah, Taba'ah, Ratazaka, Hayah, Aisha, Ba'aratazah, Kawah, Hayah, Ba'ashamayim, Nabanana, Nakam, Cow, Wam, Wasalakana, Kabawakana, Kasalakana, Kabawakana, Wada'a, Daba Ya'aino, Bonasaya One, Abba, Hawashayna, Mayan, Right, Kaya, Laka, Hamalaka, Waha'ala, Waha'fubara, La'aywalamya, Aman.
in the English. Our Father, art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come. Thy will be done. In earth, as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread. Forgive us our debts. And forgive us our debts. As we forgive our debtors. And lead us not into temptation. But deliver us from evil. Thine is the kingdom. And the power. And the glory. Ever. So be.
When the blessed Israel Yahweh. Ba'ashem Yahweh. Barakana. Wayasha'ala. Wahabaya. Sapaya. Barakapa. Magan. Danya Alam and family. Ba'ashem Yahweh. The water Aman. And what will the send was Lord in the name of Jesus bless.